on on YouTube right now, but it's going to take like 10-15 seconds for Facebook to identify that it's live. And then there we go. Now it's connecting to the video. And then I can hit go live there. So, and then I have to put all the details. So this is we edit all this out. And it's always, I love how many people will come in and be like, hey, I got to see it before you edited everything out.
Yeah. Fun little
things,
BTS.
So. It's always fun. So, okay, we'll hit go live now on Facebook. Come on. So if you've seen any of my live presentations, that's what you see. You see
that's awesome.
The pre, and then we'll tweak everything. So it looks like all the platforms are up now. So we'll just kind of start fresh, and then, like I said, we'll edit all that stuff out.
All right, cool.
All right, welcome. This is Chris Guyman, the Time Freedom Lawyer. We're here with Andrew Zihmer. Andrew has written a new book called The High Performance Law Firm, and the launch is next week. And so I kind of wanted to just interview him real quick and kind of give you guys a sneak peek of what's going to be in this book and why you should look at it. So Andrew, any quick little introduction about you, and then we'll jump right in.
Oh man, first, thank you for having me on. I'm really pumped. Yeah, the book is the culmination of everything I've done the last 8 years at Zhimer Law Firm, where I work with my wife and our team. And so I'm happy to dive in and excited to give a little sneak peek in some things there. And then it's going to be a heck of a big event party on Tuesday, November 11th.
Awesome. I'm excited. And we'll give you guys, anybody who sees this, I'll give you the links to the event so you can join him live for that. This is an interview. I'm going to be asking him questions, but again, as you guys are here live, if you have questions, drop them in the chat and I'll make sure to fit that in here as well. So we're going to jump right in with just kind of asking, what inspired you to write The High Performance Law Firm?
So it started as like my personal notes. It was when we started in 2017, we just struggled. It was a lot of 16 and 18-hour days, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Right? It's hard. We've been there. And so as we got a little bit of traction, it was just my notes of, hey, like, let's do more of this. That worked. Clients seemed to like that better. They paid us a little bit more when we did it this way. We sped up because we did this. Hey, we're hiring. Let's ask these questions. And it was just my collection of notes and thoughts. We got through COVID, we started growing more, we had more success. It was then being refined with more and more like really tactical, helpful information that I just kept going back to and thinking and refining. I'm an engineer, so my engineer brain thinks of like, let's look at it, let's remap it, let's pull the elements that are working. And then when I created Vertex League in 2023 to help really estates and trust law firm owners, it was like, oh my gosh, this audience might actually benefit from this. Let me start maybe taking my notes and start now shifting this into what it has become the book of like make it into a book. So then that was kind of the transition point, was 23, 24. It started coming into what it is now.
Cool. That's awesome. And I love that story. I know when I was first starting, I would see these people who were, super successful and that kind of stuff. And I'd see them and be like, man, there's no way I could do what they do. And, they're just so much better than I am. And it's refreshing to know that as successful as you are now, you weren't always successful. It's it first. And if you can do it, other people can do it. That's you're not the Michael Jordan that no one's ever going to be able to jump as high as he can. You are a normal person and still built such a successful firm. That's awesome.
Yes. And I think that's really it. It's like, I'm normal. Tracy's normal. Even the things that we do, like the tactics in the book and strategies and just what we do, we just kind of stay with it. Like you said, it is hard. You go, it's not working today. Well, let's make a little refinement. Could it be a little bit better tomorrow? It's like that compound effect by Darren Hardy. We're not looking to go 0 to 100. It's like, can I go 0 to 1, 1.5, 2, 2.25, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3, 3.5, 4. You will get that momentum. You have to give yourself the time. Gary Vaynerchuk is big on like, sometimes things just take time. And I like I think that's what you're big on. Like, let's shrink that down. Like, let's help people learn better ways. But sometimes it's not just, okay, like magic wand, you're going to just crush it in the next 9 minutes. Like, sometimes it takes some work through that. And yes, like we lived it. And it was a really hard couple of years.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said we there. And I want to point out, because I have a lot of people that'll say like, only take advice from someone who's a lawyer on how to run a law firm. And I want to dispel that right now. You're not a lawyer.
Nope.
Your wife is,
Yep.
right? And the two of you run a law firm together, which I think is something unique here. And it's someone you definitely want to take an insight from, because you've ran a law firm and your law firm has been successful. But I also think there's a cool part here where by Tracy being allowed to really think about the delivery of the services and the legal side, I've seen the quality of work you guys produce, and there are very few firms that can produce as high of a quality of work as you can and run such a successful business. And I think part of that is because Tracy was allowed to focus her energy on the estate planning, and you were allowed to focus your energy on the business. And so anybody here who's like, oh, I'm turning this off because Andrew's not a lawyer, that would be a mistake. If you want to learn how to draft beautiful estate plans, we'll have them talk to Tracy. But if you want to know how to run an estate planning business, like Andrew's the one to talk to here. So don't, that's a misnomer I just want to address right at the beginning. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and it is, but now it's like you nailed it. It's that, hey, I'm all the marketing, the leads, how we can get the next person in, convert them, maximize. Tracy's on the planning, but then like a lot of what you just talked about too, like client journey, right? And we'll work together. Hey, what's the journey before they engage? But then once they're in, I mean, so much of Tracy's time is just how do we keep making it better, over deliver, add more value, make over communicate. You just the little details of just maximizing every interaction with our law firm. Well, she has the time to do that because she's not worried about where the next client comes from. That's my job.
Yeah, exactly. And Gino Wickman in EOS, he talks about having a two-headed leadership team, an integrator and a visionary. And I've seen the fact that you guys have that two-headed leadership team has been so awesome. So just wanted to draw attention to that before. But I also want to get back to the book a little bit because I love that the title's The High Performance Law Firm. And I love the subtitle here about it fueling your life.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean in practice? Like, I want you to expand on that a little bit more.
So, right, I think we both know a lot of lawyers that are burnt out, that don't have fun, that started a law firm and 3, 5, 7, 10 years in are going, I don't know if I can do it. This sucks. I could hang it up. I hope maybe I could go in with somebody else. Maybe I just go back to being, I can make partner because I do have a book, or I might even just change careers. I'm just done.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, why does that happen? Right. So we can kind of go like, why is it happening? You go, they're other than the changing career piece, they're liking the law. They like helping people. They get fulfillment there. So you go, that's not the problem. What's the problem? That we can't disconnect in the evenings. We can't go on vacation. When we do, we're missing. We're on our phone the whole time. We're making some money, but we're not really making enough to justify all the darn work we're putting in.
Yeah.
And you start going, there's got to be a better way. So the idea then of engineer the law firm to fuel your life was, let's actually design the law firm to do all the normal law firm things, help our clients and have great impact in our community. Let's have some personal benefit too. And that personal benefit can be for your life. So it's how do you actually design this then? So as you put that energy in and time in and everything that we all put into the law firms, how do we then get out? Time off, more money, freedom, flexibility, just fulfillment at work. That's the idea of let's engineer an awesome life.
I love that. And it's funny, my team and I were talking about that same thing just yesterday. We were talking about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So you're seeing me go rogue here because I had to find my notes on it. But it finally clicked for us the other day on this because so many people would I'd be teaching things and be like, hey, this works for people. And then it wouldn't work for them. And it was really hard for me to know, like, okay, why isn't this working? And as I saw that Maslow hierarchy of needs, it talks about how if you're at the base of the pyramid, and people can Google this if they want to see the thing, it's about your psychological needs. Your brain cannot comprehend the things above that. So if you're in a pool underwater and can't get to the surface and you're about to drown, and breathing is your number one goal, like you can't think about what's moral and what's right. Like your brain, the only thing you can think about is breathing. And so you've got to take care of those psychological needs first. And then after that, then it's your safety and security, which includes your physical health. I think there's a big thing there that a lot of the time we want to skip the health and those types of things to get straight to our purpose in life, and we can't. But one of the cool things about a law firm is most of these basic needs at the bottom, they can be solved with cash flow, right? If you have enough cash, you can buy food. And
Thank you for bringing this
you have
up.
shelter. And after you have enough cash, then it leads into the time element. And because physical health, it takes a lot of work. Like it takes a lot of work to prep your food. It takes a lot of work to exercise. Like all of that stuff takes time. And the cool thing about a system, and as we're going to get into some of your system stuff, because you're one of the best at this, is those things allow you to first create cash flow, then create time. And if you use that time and money effectively and meet these basic needs, that's when you start getting into those higher levels of love and self-actualization and those other things. And a law firm is one of the best tools I have found to help you climb that hierarchy of needs. And so, but I wanted to point that out because a lot of the times people will say like, oh, well, this isn't going to work for me, or I've tried that and it doesn't work. And often my point is like, check where you're at on that hierarchy of needs. Because if you're missing one of the lower elements, that's why you're not able to comprehend those higher issues.
And I want to like just riff on this a little bit. Like I think society has taught us so much that like money's bad.
Yeah.
So then we want to shy away from that and being like, if there's a foundation that will fix most of your problems in business, law firms are a business, it is going to be having cash flow, and then some reserves, so then you can start trying things. But when people are like, I'm slammed and I can't get a team, but then I'm doing only referral marketing, and I wish I could invest, but I just don't have any money. And it's like, team costs money, advertising costs money, that new office you want costs money. So if we can fix that part, we can now start designing up. So like 100% agreement in we kind of have to get that engine moving forward, making some money, so then we can figure out strategically what do we do with it in our law firm so they can have more benefit back to the firm and us.
Yeah. And there's, that scripture, I think it's a foundation of what a lot of people struggle with, that love of money is root of all evil. And you want to pay attention to that. It's the love of money. It's not money itself, right?
Yes.
And so if you're earning money so that, and then fill in the blank of whatever your self-actualization is, then I think money can be an incredible tool. It's when you only want the money, that's where it becomes a problem. And so I love that. I'm glad that you're thinking about that, because so many of especially those basic needs can be solved with cash flow and time.
Yeah.
And that's what frees you up to then do, whether it's service or whatever it is, your purpose in life. But it's really hard to help other people if you're focused on putting food on the table.
Quite literally, yes.
Yeah. So I love that. So a big part of that obviously is systems and those types of things, right? And I love, you mentioned that a lot of people have SOPs, and I think SOPs are one of those key things. And so everyone's heard about it, and we create this office manual and we throw a bunch of SOPs in there. ChatGPT's probably created it for you, and it says SOP at the top, and then no one ever uses it, and your team hates your office manual and never opens it again. And so I love that you said like a lot of firms have SOPs, but most don't have real systems. So can you kind of break into what's the difference there and why does that matter?
Yeah. So let's kind of talk for a moment now. So what's an SOP? An SOP is traditionally start to finish how to go do something.
Yeah.
That's useful. That's needed, right? That could be, how do I generate the document? That could be, how do we run payroll? That could be, how do I set up a new computer for a new employee? That could be, how do I update the webinar funnel? Right? We can have SOP for any of these things.
Yeah.
So it starts and it ends. What happened before? What happens after? How does this affect the big picture? What is the flow? Yes, this is my SOP, but what's the SOP for you? What's the SOP after? What are the change points? What's the actual outcome? What is the ownership of like the whole big picture? And people go, either that doesn't exist, or like, well, I have it. I'm not the law firm. It's like, I'm the law firm owner. I have that. And you go, okay, well then it's yours.
Yeah.
The system is, what is the entire thing, start to finish, for estate planning, probate, family law? hiring and onboarding a new person, and you start going, that's the system. And you go,
Mhm.
where does that start? Where does that end? And then we start breaking down. So I created this thing called the black box system design. I used this back in engineering when I was making spy satellites for the government and updating nuclear power plants. It was, how do you take something wildly complex, like
Mhm.
insanely complex, and how do we make it or update it or change it? And so I came up with this idea of like, let's zoom out to 50,000 feet. When you're flying, right, and you look down over Kansas, and it's like, what do you see? I was like farms and a little bit of roads.
Yeah.
We're not worried about like how many rows are in that field, or like how big is the deck on that house. You're just like, there's a neighborhood down there,
Yeah.
right? And then as we start coming down, you get more detail until we're standing on the ground. You're like, I could count blades of grass now. And the problem is lawyers start counting those blades of grass, and like the blades of grass would be the SOPs.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, I made an SOP. Okay, that's wonderful. You made one piece of grass in your yard. Did you put a yard in? Is it landscaped? Does it
Yeah.
overall fit into the neighborhood and in the town and the community and the county and the city and the state? And they're like, well, I never thought about that. That's the system design. So we have to start the overall high and then work down. And so it's not that SOPs aren't critical. They're so important. But when we make an SOP and then we make another one and another one, they're fractured. They don't plug in together. And so what creates it is a hub and spoke model. I did
Yeah.
SOPA. Okay, Chris, what do I do next? Oh, Paige, you're a great job. Go do SOP B now. Thank you. All right, awesome. I'll do that now. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Hey, what do we do next? We don't have an SOP for that. Let me, I'll just do that one myself. Right. And we kind of have this handoff system because you're the system.
Yeah.
If you actually design that the whole time, the team is like, I did A, I hit the button in the CRM that tasks the next person. They can go take it. Decision point made, emails sent out automated, text sent, decision path. Is it paid, not paid? Are we missing information? Do we have this? What kind of path is it, right? Oh, trigger this. I run this SOP. I use this checklist. I use this form. And then you go, hey, client matter, done. You go, oh, it didn't have to come back to me that whole time. Go, that's a system.
Yeah. Yeah. So a system's effectively how you tie all your SOPs together so that it's not just coming back to you as the owner.
Yes. Like like my iPhone here, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can kind of argue the phone is the system.
Yeah.
The battery's like an SOP, or the antenna,
Yeah.
or the screen, or like the volume up button. It's like the volume up button's kind of like an SOP. So people be like, I made one. Okay, you
Yeah.
have a volume up button.
Yeah.
Does the whole phone work? And they're like, well, no, but I made a button, and it's like, let's start with what the phone and what is its purpose. Text and call and internet and email, right? And it's like, what are all the things we need? We will need an up button, but we need like 200 other things too. And they only actually work if we have them all in the right order and sequence.
So one of the biggest pushbacks I see with SOPs is it doesn't give people a lot of creative opportunities or opportunities to think, right? It's you become the McDonald's of law firms where you're just, this is how you flip a burger and there's no opportunity to go outside of that. Have you addressed that concern, and how do you allow for, I don't know if I want to say creativity, but
Yeah.
vision, right? Like if someone is, I don't want to tell you how to run Google ads. That would be a mistake if I said run Google ads my way, because you know how to do it better than me. So how do you allow people who are experts in their fields and stuff to riff on these and improve the SOPs and grow with them?
So that's a big core idea at Zimmer Law Firm is we want to do things the best way. And then once we have a best way, we want to define it. We want to train it, teach it, document it. And then we're all going to do it that way. Because if I run a signing meeting one way and you do it a different way, one of them is going to be better. It might be slightly better.
Right.
It might actually be half of mine's better and then the other half of yours is better. So we should put them together. But just saying, well, it's just the Drew way, that's just the Chris way. That's, to me, broken logic.
Yeah.
So we do want the SOPs to say, let's work together to come up with the best way. We can iterate over time. And this came up. So the signing meeting one for estate planning, we had what we did. It was documented. This is how we ran it. And our paralegal, who's also a notary, came to us and go, 10 months ago, I think I could make it better. all right, sit down, explain, like, what are you thinking? You're the one in the meetings anyways doing what I told you to do. So what
Right.
do you think? And she's like, well, this comes up in this, and I think I could speed it up here, but then I could spend more time here. Awesome. Map it out. Let's take a look at it. Any little feedback. Let's test it. She tested it and went, that's good. Cool. Now let's document it. That's the new process. So the creativity comes, but now then when somebody else needs to run that meeting, I want them to do it that way, not just theirs. So it's kind of like McDonald's. And I actually reference them in my book. I think McDonald's is like a really good like mechanism of like a lot of our law firms are very repeatable.
Yeah.
Let's let them be, because repeatable means profitable.
Yes.
And so like, that's what I do want. And then the creativity comes in. Can we do that better? Is it time for now a new practice area? Or like, where are we augmenting? Let's put our creative hats on. And one of my quotes that I say at the law firm in Vertex a lot is, let the easy things be easy so we can focus on the hard things. And a lot of lawyers make the easy things really hard, I think, but honestly, out of ego of like, I'm the only one that could draft this thing. And I'm going to like one off it each time and like sit at the typewriter and like effectively recreate. And you're like, but you do 400 of those a year.
Yeah.
This literally should be a 8-second endeavor by somebody else on your team.
Yeah.
Your skill set should be in something else. So Albert Einstein said, effectively paraphrase, like, genius isn't keeping it to yourself. The real genius is in like teaching and explaining it so somebody else can. So we say that a lot. Like, somebody's like, it's too complex, no one else could do it. Politely, then you're not smart enough to teach it. I need you to become smart enough to teach it to somebody else. Let go of it. If you're that good, help them do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was taught in my youth that you don't understand something well enough until you can explain it to a third grader. And that's my goal now, is like, how do I break this down simple enough that anyone on my team can understand it and that they could teach it to someone else? Like, that's where you really know, like, you're a real leader, a real person, like, good at this, when you can teach it to someone and now they understand it so well that they can teach it to someone else. That's when this becomes, and I love what you said there too with the SOPs are not concrete, like you don't change them. But if we have a strict system that we're using and everyone's doing it, that gives us the right data to then know if something's better or not, right? If someone comes to you and says, hey, I think step 3 could be done better, then we test it, right? We say, okay, let's try it. Let's do half this way and half this way. And let's see if one works better. And then once the data comes in, you're like, you're right. Your step 3 was better. We're switching the SOP, and now everyone on the team gets better, especially if you draft it in such a way that people understand. So I love that. That's a really good point. I hope people got.
Because I never knew this stuff. So like, I came from these places where that was how we thought. Mm-hmm. Tracy worked at other law firms. And so, I never forget, I would just have these conversations when we started the evenings, hey, so, why does our engagement letter look this way? I don't know. That's what it looked like the other firm. And I found out these things, like she worked at a firm where almost every lawyer had their own engagement letter.
Yeah.
19 lawyers, and there's 19 different ways to engage the firm. That's a terrible idea.
Right.
Like, could you imagine being like, yeah, McDonald's in Pittsburgh is pretty good. McDonald's, Nashville. I don't know. They're
selling burritos. I don't get it. Like yeah.
It would make no sense. Mm-hmm. So it is like, we do want that brand stability of, it doesn't matter what attorney you meet with. It's going to be an amazing design of your estate plan. Not like, oh, I got the worst. Like, you just want, like, it's not like everyone's like normal bad. It's like everyone is that elevated, amazing, and that experience is everywhere.
And another cool point you mentioned is, by doing it this way, it allows people to then spend their time doing what they're best at. Like the hard things that do require complex legal analysis, right? If the attorneys have the bandwidth to dive in for 8 hours. I had a really complicated, interesting issue where we'd continued a child protective order for a really long time, well beyond what they should normally go. And now we have a hearing coming up, and we want this thing to go away. And the attorney that's working on it, he spent 8 hours yesterday researching it. And we found some really good legal arguments. I think we're going to win. And we never would have found that stuff if we didn't have the 8 hours of bandwidth to do it. And the reason he had the 8 hours of bandwidth is because that day, his legal team produced over $5,000 worth of legal fees on his behalf
Yes.
using our systems, and they only interrupted him twice. And so
Yes.
he had, that's the power here, is we're not saying that you should then just do nothing. It's just get the easy stuff out of the way so you can do the things that only you can do. And that's what provides the value to a client.
Because that's what we see, right? Like in the trust world, we could have some complex like trust provisions.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's throw all the smart people and do that. But the
Yeah.
financial power of attorney can't be turned into rocket science, because it's not. That needs to be the simple thing that it is. So then what? We take all that time and energy and go, these 3 paragraphs are going to be a bear. Awesome.
Right.
Let's focus.
Yeah. So there's a lot of firms out there that are stuck on their first blade of grass, right? And they're saying, all right, I am not a high performing law firm. It is just me. I'm grinding. I'm making 60 grand a year, working 60 hours a week. Like, there's got to be a better way. So for people like that are just starting out towards high performance, they may already have a firm, but they've decided, you know what, now I'm going to be a high performing law firm. What would you suggest that first step be for them?
So in the engineering world, it was reverse engineering. Sometimes we call it, start with the end in mind. Yeah. But really, what do I want? What would be my ideal? If I said you can't fail,
yeah,
I can magic wand it, right, and give you, we can work together and make anything you want. Yeah. How much time off do you want? How much money do you want? Mm-hmm. How do you want to help people? How are you going to give back in your community? What does your ideal day look like? Ideal weekend, ideal evening, ideal month? Like, start drawing it up. Yeah. And be honest and go, this would be, I don't know how I'll get there. We're not worried about how we get there yet. Let's play the game.
Let's figure out what it is first.
You start coming down with it all. All right. And then now let's go through the exercise. And where are you now? Yeah. Really, what do you have, not have, how much effort, what does that, and do it from the life. We're not talking about, too many people get down the weeds and they start going, well, like, I wish we could make like the signing meetings better.
Right.
Outcomes for your life. Like, talk about you, income, time, clarity, joy, purpose, like that. And then where you're at. And then we've got to start bridging it. You can draw this line and you start going, well, we've got to take a concrete step in the right direction. But people, and it's not like a fault. I mean, we did it. You probably did it. I mean, I think 100%. Unless you came from a family of like so many entrepreneurs that could give guidance on day one, or just like, I think 99% of us go through I never really thought to design the law firm. Yeah. With like this outcome purpose. The outcome purpose is do legal work and I'll get paid. And the problem is that's in that direction. Yep. And you're like, man, but I want the lifestyle in that direction. And so we've got to build it for that. So we actually have to start with, what do we want? That way we can start going, does this somehow help you have more cash to invest in your business? Does this somehow give me more time back? Does this somehow give higher quality so I'm doing a better job for my clients that they'll want to refer me? Like, like every discussion we have at our law firm now, not 2017, 18, but now it's like in 15 steps down the road, how does this benefit us? Yeah. Is it net benefit? Is it loss? Is it better? But like, why are we doing this? Just because somebody now has an idea, now it starts going through this test of, but I'm going to be back to working 70 hours a week if we do it that way. Yep. And make less. Why would I'm not doing that. You start having this filter of like, oh, but you know what? This will get me back a little bit of time. This will make us a little more profitable. And then we start taking steps in that direction. But it helps when you go, I want to go there. Yeah. Too many people have their head down and they're just trucking along. And it's like, you need to get out of those weeds a little bit to pick your head up and go, is this the direction you even want to go in? Because all of a sudden 10 years fly by. And then you're, depending on when you started, you're 40 or 50 or 60 going, how the heck did I get here? What's the path you've been on for the last decade? Yeah. Let's change direction. And so that's really it. It's the high performance law firm idea. It's a bridge to get you from where you are to where you really want to be.
Yeah. I was teaching my son how to mow the lawn, and I really like straight lines in my lawn. I'm really funny about it. And he mows it, and it's just like this the whole way. It's so bad. We talked about it and tried to figure things out. And ultimately, what got him to do straight lines is I was like, look, dude, you can't look at the lawnmower. Like, you got to pick your head up and go look at that point. And, we have a fence, so he could look at the posts and the rails and stuff, right? I was like, hey, straight is that fence post. Look at that fence post and go the whole way, right? And when he looked at a object in the distance, he was able to
Yes.
do a straight line. And I think you're exactly right. That's the same thing with your business. Is too often I'll ask the same question, hey, what do you want in life? And they're like, well, I want my signing appointment to be better. Well, no, you don't. You don't care about your signing appointment. What does a better signing appointment do for you? And I've started asking this question of, if you had $100 million in the bank, what would you do with your life? Because it
Yes.
gets people to stop thinking about the processes and procedures in their law firm, and they talk about it. And some people, their answer is, I wouldn't practice law. Okay. Other people is, I would do a pro bono clinic and whatever. I'm like, okay, well then they love their practice area.
Yeah.
And then we take that perfect life and then we say, okay, how does your law firm now fit into that? Is this something you're going to spend 40 hours a week doing? Is it something you're going to spend 10 hours a week doing? Like, it, depending on how much you love your practice area, maybe you do spend 40, 50 hours a week in your practice area, and maybe you spend 10. But it's helping them see how the firm fits into that. And if the answer is that the only reason you have a law firm is to generate money, then maybe we turn it into a 10-hour-a-week law firm that generates enough, and you spend the rest of your time doing other things. That's effectively what I do, right? My firm is cash flow productive. It's my, Tim Ferriss calls it a muse. So it's my muse, and I spend the rest of my time coaching, right?
Yes.
So there's no right or wrong answer, as long as they can see how the firm fits into that and how much do they need to generate with the firm so that their life is bigger.
100%. It's I mean, I can say that, like, I work about 3.5 days a week at the law firm.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I saw you posted, oh, I do Vertex League. Like, I love
Yeah.
that. It's not, and I think I really like them both.
Mm-hmm.
The law firm's turning into my playground. It's my experiment, because now we've got a team so that I can have people implement with me. Hey, let's do this. You carry it out. I'm going to think up the new way to run the webinar and test funnels and work through emails and I'm going to build all that. But you do downstream implementation. Yeah. Because then I can go teach it and play with it. And that's just kind of fun for me. Like, my idea was like, let's keep coming up with just like new things to see if we can refine. I love refinement, but it's same. I've talked to people and they're like, I think your law firm would be 10x even bigger than it is if you were there every day. I know, but I'm at 72 days off this year already out of the law firm. And some have been just days to do nothing. Some are Vertex days. Some are just every Thursday I hung out with the kids all day long. I didn't work a Thursday all summer. Just took them to the park, splashed in the creek, went to the science center. And it was like, we do well financially. Yes. Could I 10x it? Yes. But there's this balance of like, to only make money comes at a big cost. To be also like, I hang out my kids 24/7, 365. You'll probably be broke and stressing about the mortgage. Also not ideal. So it's like, you need to, it's this like 4 or 5D equation. You kind of have to try to maximize the things that matter to you to go, we can travel, we can do fun things, we don't worry about it, we can pay for good food and health care and have fun toys. With this same though of, it's bucketed, because then I just hang out with my kids in the evening and we don't work all weekend and we can go on family vacations and we can spend time together and we pick them up at the bus every day at like 3:20 and just hang out, and you go, I've designed that all together, but you have to be aware of it.
Yeah. And that's what I think that's what a high performance law firm is. Like, it's designed in such a way to provide the lifestyle you want. You know, if you're picking your kids up at school at 3:30, great. That's a goal for you. For other people, it is or isn't. The important thing is that you've thought through this and you've created the lifestyle you want. I'm the same way. People say like, oh, you know, you're the time freedom guy, whatever, and you work all the time. I'm like, yeah, like for me, I gain a lot of fulfillment from what I do. And so I do work about 55 hours a week doing what I love.
Yes.
So, you know, the goal shouldn't be, it was for a long time for me, to just work less. And I had to learn that the goal isn't to work less, it's to do more of the things you love.
Like, dude, we're working right now.
Does. Yeah.
Like, and I think there's these people who are like this important. I prepped for this. What kind of conversation were we gonna have? Like, again, it's like, I don't just blindly bump through life. Like, I have the preparation for this, just like the lawyer might have for the design meeting with the client or to go to court. Like, but you go, this doesn't really work for me. Like, this is just like freaking fun. Yeah. And I go, then the fact that that's what I get to do, that like, I go, I work all the time in a good way.
Yeah.
and love every moment of it.
Yeah, exactly. Do more of what you want to do and set up a law firm that lets you do that, which is
Yeah.
for me, like I'm very similar to you, traveling, spending time with my kids and working, but only doing the stuff that I like to do. I haven't drafted a motion in 5 years.
Yes.
Because I am I good at it? Yes. Do I like it? No. So I don't do it. That's the goal here. So I love that. You also mentioned measuring things, right? So
Yeah.
when it becomes if you're a high performance firm, you've got to measure what matters. And so talk us through that a little bit. What are some of the top metrics? How do you measure? Like, give us some insight on measuring.
You know, and I laugh, and not all. I say this a little tongue in cheek, but you know, Tracy always like, you know, a lot of us went to law school because we didn't like math, so we want to stay away from it. It's like
Yeah.
we need at least a little bit to be successful in business, because if we just wing it, that gets hard. Again, the numbers are going to help you line up with where's that vision, and it's a way to actually track it. As an engineer, yes, I love math, so I can, you know, so I like to simplify it to what do we actually need. Three of my favorite metrics are billed and collected, time, revenue, however you do things. We're flat fee, but I know not everybody is. But
Yeah.
billed and collected, you know, if you're payment up front, those are allowed to match 1-to-1, or at least hopefully be close to 100%. We weren't at a time. We've since moved to fees up front, or we don't do the work. So it's really nice then that billed and collected matches. The other metric that took me more years to learn than I would care to admit, was this idea of what we call new business, but it's effectively your sales.
Yeah.
What has been committed in a given day, week, or month, or year to your law firm. Because that has nothing to do with the work you did. It's the work that's coming. You know, so hey, Tracy and the legal group are doing work, you know, right now. What did we get in during our sales meetings though today? And tracking that, because that gives you an indicator of like, hey, we're doing 100,000 a month in work, but we brought in 60,000. Like, cool. That's going to be a problem real fast.
Right. That means
or it can be the other way.
We're not going to have enough.
Yeah, or we're doing 100K of work. Awesome. We're bringing in like 150. Great. We might need to hire at some point.
Yeah.
So you can start looking at that, which gives you, it lets you know there's a problem coming before it gets nasty, or it can let you know like, hey, we're on a growth path. Because a lot of people go, I'm not growing. It feels like more and more clients come in every day, but we haven't, like, our revenue's been plateaued for 3 years. But then clients are mad. So you're probably backlogging them. So it's going longer and longer, but your capacity to do work has not changed. So no, you're not making more, but that backlog keeps growing. Throw another person on it, or optimize how you do the work, and you actually make more. Yeah. So those three I love. That ties then with the overall revenue metric of, you know, billed or collected, what you want to track. But what is that? How many clients, or really matters, are you getting in a time period? And how many leads? Because if we know our leads, you know, how many opportunities did we have? How many of those do we turn into active clients and cases? Right now we have close rate. Now we know how good are we at sales. You know, if we know clients or leads, we can look at that against revenue. Now we can start getting average case value. Then we can start tracking that. Over time, we could track lifetime value. Well, now we can design a firm based on, hey, I'm trying to, you know, I want to get to my first $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million or $5 million. Cool. Well, what's it going to take? Oh, it's going to take, you know, 900 clients at, you know, $4,500 a piece. To get that, I'm going to have to talk to 1,500 people. Oh, what do we talk to now? 500. Okay. Well, how do we 3x leads?
Right.
And the kind of where we started, like, you can buy your way out of a lot of these problems. Like, how do you get more leads? You can kind of just invest more in advertising and marketing. I mean, it's got to be good, but if theoretically, if you triple that spend, you'll get roughly 3x the leads. Usually there's a little bit of a lag, but you'll be close. You'll 2.7x the leads for triple the spend. We're most of the way there.
Yeah. I love what you said, and your brain, watching you process this was the same kind of journey I take people through. And so I want to draw attention to it, because if I was only tracking two things, I would track the same thing you did, is how many clients are coming in and how much money are we earning?
Yes.
In fact, I've got that whole, like, how to earn $10,000 a week in 12 weeks or less. I can boil that entire program down into, I tell people to work 4 hours a day on client acquisition and 4 hours a day on earning the money.
Yes.
And so they break their days into two pieces, and it rewires people's brains to, okay, this is the time I'm bringing in cases, and this is the time I'm earning earning the money. And that usually is enough just to get to 10,000 a week and 500,000 a year. And so those are the two things. Then from there, it's like, okay, now I've got clients coming in consistently and I'm earning money consistently. How do I turn this into a business? And it's, you start tracking, your leads and all those other things you talked about. And then it just becomes a math problem. Like you said, once you know your metrics, you can look and be like, man, my sales conversion sucks. And you go fix your sales. And then you're like, okay, now things are good. I just need to 3X my leads and I 3X my income. And now you may test things and some of them don't work. Like I just
Yes.
spent 50 grand working with an advertising company for 6 months and it didn't work. One, I had the money to do it, which was good. And two, I had the data to know it didn't work because I got with them on the call at 6 months and said, hey, I'm letting you guys go. And they showed me all these vanity metrics. Well, look at all these things. And I'm like, yeah, you did give me 10,000 views of people who weren't getting divorced. Like, I don't care. I do a family law firm, not an estate planning firm.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, yeah, you gave me this, but like it produced the 50 grand I spent produced about 30,000 in clients. I'm like, well, that's not a good ROI, and I gave them a long time, but the data is what allowed me to make that decision. And because I had the data, I could get out before it was a long-term issue, So I love that. That's exactly where I would go. Start with new leads or like new clients and serving those clients, and then expand that dashboard so you can make more and more decisions.
But we just had the discussion the other day. I mean, we were talking with the team and just kind of went, what is our purpose? What are we?
Yeah.
When we do estate plan this. So we're a sales organization. I said, end of the day, if you want the most basic thing we do, I said, we get in front of people that have a need. We have something we can do for their need. We've got to convince them to give their money to us so we can give them what they need. And if we can't do that, we don't have jobs.
Yep.
They were like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
So yes, it's like, it all comes down to clients and revenue. Everything else is like derivatives over time for better growth and like to enhance. But when you zoom out, you go like, what is this? Yeah, my KPI dashboard's pretty basic, like expenses and revenue and profit. Like, is this which direction's it going in? Like, it really is that simple. We get pulled into though, well, but like the design meeting went 71 minutes instead of 65. Okay, but
right.
Can you go on vacation and have enough money to fly or not?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I love that. Okay. I know when I first started coaching and started teaching other people, I learned a lot about my own firm. It was quite eye-opening. So I'm guessing you had something similar when you started reading or writing this book and compiling everything together. What's some of the surprising things you learned about your firm and yourself?
So when I transitioned, kind of moved into, I'm going to take the collection of thoughts and it's going to become a book. Yeah. I started going back. A lot of it was actually because I wanted just pictures. I wanted some of the journey because I wanted to connect with the reader and not just go, look at me over here where we're at. I wanted to go, I've been there. Let me walk you through the steps. And so as I kind of went back and I'm pulling pictures from, like the night we opened the law firm, so the night we started the law firm. So Tracy told her boss, I'm done. She expected me fired. They actually begged for 2 weeks, which was good. It gave us 2 more weeks of income while we at least legally could get things going. Yeah. So I had a bottle of champagne for her. The card said, congrats to the owner of Zimmer Law Firm. She's coming home from work. I come home. I let the dogs out. We had 2 dogs. They go run around our shed, jump over each other. And the one dog rips her side open on a piece of wood. Shoot. And so spent the night at the emergency vet getting her stitched back up. Yeah. Like, that's the real life. Like, our big celebration we did it was like, I'll be at the emergency vet till 10 o'clock. We'll open that bottle up, tonight later, and so you go, it sucks. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It kind of made me reflect back on the double-edged sword of being an entrepreneur. And I can't speak for everybody, me, but I think other folks is that we're pretty competitive. Yeah. And we're kind of always refining. And so there can be this, I'm better today than yesterday. I'm working to be better tomorrow. And you just kind of, you're working in this micro moment of like, am I better than, we're doing a little better than last year. Okay, good. Yeah, but I think next year we're going to do here. I'm working hard on that. Yeah. The book made me pause and look and go, oh, we came a pretty good way. Yeah. It really gave me the reflection of, these things that used to be problems or decision points or money that we could spend or milestones and actually appreciate it. It was this like very kind of therapeutically like fun just thing to get to write it and go back through when did I learn that lesson? Like, now that we just know to do it, when did I learn that? Oh, I learned it because I stumbled into it. I was so darn frustrated. I was trying everything. It was like, that's when I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
And that was a big pivot point. So it was fun to go back and think, how hard was it? I learned the lesson. Now I was on a little bit better path. And, and it's like walking in the jungle. Like, oh, and it was like, and I remember the day, like, I got the machete and could like start like chopping stuff. And you forget how hard it was when you didn't have one.
Yeah.
That was a lot of the book for me, of going back to 17, 18, 19, even 20 through COVID, of just like, it was brutal how hard it was. And things that we celebrated. Like, there's a picture of card when we did our first cumulative million.
Yeah.
It took a year. It took us 3 years to do $1 million.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like, oh yeah, that's months.
Yeah.
But, so now it's just like, when will it happen in the year? I remember when it was like, we did it. It's been like 1,000 days. And you go, oh my gosh, that was like such a milestone. Like, it's not even a milestone now. Like, not the way it was. Like, it was something to be like, look at what we just did. And it was just kind of some of those, like, it kind of makes you go back and pause and be like, we got to find things to celebrate and make sure you're always having fun, because it's a journey. And like, I tell people in sports, if you play football, like, you got a shot for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hockey, I'm a hockey guy. You get to do that Stanley Cup and get your name and raise it and go around the rink. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
We don't get that in the business world.
Right.
So we have to create it. You have to go, if I do this, that was my Super Bowl, and I'm going to celebrate and have some fun and really live that up, in my opinion. You have to create goals, but when you hit them, let it be the seriously, like, mega celebration thing that it should be. Because if not, each day just turns into the next day, and it can become just hard. And so we like to set a goal, and when we hit it, it's like, holy cow, we did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because for me, it's like, I came from a sports background of, why'd you work hard? For that championship, to make the playoffs, to make the run, to be the underdog and beat the team, to be the Cinderella team, to win it all, to do back-to-back championships, and be like, then let's give us an environment where we can have that feeling.
Yeah. I think that's so critically important that I've talked to a lot of people and they haven't talked about recently. So I'm glad you bring attention to that, of celebrating the wins, because you're absolutely right. Like, as you're going through this journey, it's a never ending journey. So you're going to be pushing through this for a long time, but taking a chance to realize what you've accomplished, what all this means. And personally, we spend a lot of time talking with our team and our internally of, okay, we made this million, but what does that actually mean for us? Like, what did we do with that? Were we able to do these things? And we had an opportunity. For us, Disney is a big thing, right? And the family wanted to go to Disney World, and honestly, it didn't make sense. Like, I had another trip right before and another trip right after, and from a dollars and cents point, we shouldn't have gone. But as we were looking at this, I was like, man, this is why I do what I do. Like, my wife's entire side of her family went, and they've got some strained relationships that may not make it. And so I was like, man, this may be the last time that everybody gets together. And some of the grandkids are now moving out of the house. And the one that's moved out of the house works in Disney World. So we actually went and saw his girlfriend, and we had the entire family together. And honestly, that may be the last time we get the entire family together. And I'm like, no amount of money was worth missing this. And this is why I do what I do. And it was so fun to just sit back and reflect and say, you know what, like, maybe I make a lot of money this year, maybe I don't, but this was worth it. This is why I do what I do. And if you don't, you kind of get stuck in chasing the next big goal. So I love that.
Yes, it's like that's what really matters. It's like, so in that mattering and being able to do that, then it's those other things are what help build to that, right? So when people are like, well, how does the SOP play in, or the meeting? Getting those things in sequence is why we want to build. So then we go, I can go take the whole family, because I don't know about your stuff. I can kind of envision maybe it coming. I can picture it comes up in family law. I can tell it comes up in states and trusts.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn sobering to talk to a family, talk to people. A couple come in to do a plan, and maybe they just retired and then got the stage 4 cancer diagnosis, terminally ill, and realized, I'm not saying be dumb. Like, I'm not. Like, but it's to not live along the way. Like, tomorrow is a gift. Yeah. And I'm in an industry where I talk to people that are like, oh yeah, I've got a 4-year-old. My husband just died. Like, how old are you guys? Oh, he was 36.
Right.
Yeah, I'm around that enough to know I want to make sure that we've saved and we're set up financially for the long haul, but also doing the whole like, well, we'll do that in 5 years. I may not be here in 5 years or be capable in 5 years.
Right.
Don't I want to go do that? We're Disney fans. We're taking my parents. So me, Tracy, the kids, and my parents are going to Disney for 3 days right before Christmas. It was just kind of one of those like, my mom's never been there for the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to take her. Like, I just literally want to take my mom to Disney World.
Yeah.
So we're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like, why? Because that matters to me.
Right.
Being there, them being with the grandkids, everybody seeing the castle and walking down the road and like letting them have that experience with them and just all of us together. Because it's like, hopefully we get to do it 5 more times.
Yeah.
But you know what? Dad has a heart attack in a year and doesn't. I'm gonna be really glad I did that and not, man, well, we were hoping to do it, you know, in 2032 was gonna be the year.
Yeah.
For so many families, then that just never happens. And I, like you said, this is the stuff that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. My computer screen just went dark for a second. No, you're absolutely right. Life is a journey, not a destination. So enjoy both, right? Yeah. I hope in 5 years you're going to Disney World again.
Yes.
But and obviously don't spend all your money and make stupid. It's not YOLO either, but
correct.
Set this up to do stuff now and then. And I have a really good friend that same thing. He owned a business for a lot of years. Talked about what he was going to do when he was going to retire. I worked with him in our church temple for 5 years. And so I got to know him and he was all excited about retiring. He talked the entire 5 years I knew him about what he would do when he retired. And he sold his business and was super excited and died 3 months later. He was working on his car, worth millions of dollars, and doing this work on his car himself to save money. And the car fell off the jack and he died. No way you could have ever anticipated that. And that's what his wife said. She's like, we deferred our entire life and got to live 3 months of it.
Yes.
And don't defer the life. Don't be YOLO either. But
I think it's doubly important as an entrepreneur because that early grind and the difficulty and those early years can be 60-hour weeks for 60K. Yeah. It's easy to be like, I just got to put my head down and just keep working. You do. I'm not here to sugarcoat and be like, oh no, like it's just you just if you read my book, you're gonna work 5 hours a week and make $1 million. Like it's not. No. But to go, you got to pick up though. But guess what? If you have a 30% growth, celebrate, have some fun along the way, because all of a sudden it is easy to be like, it's been head down for 8 years. I've not done anything fun. Now I hate it. It's like, well, because you didn't do anything fun. Anybody would hate it.
Exactly. Yeah. Those first couple of years, I made 17,000 take home my first year. So nothing to write home about. And we still found things to do together as a family. It was all free stuff because we didn't have money, but we enjoyed it then, and we do a lot more expensive stuff now. But yeah, like you said, enjoy the journey and find the things that fit the stage you're at, but don't just defer for 10 years and then wish you missed it. So, okay. We've got a little bit of time left, and I got 2 more things I want you to cover on. One is, if they could only take one thing from this book, or if they only implemented one thing this year, what would the one thing be for business owners?
It's actually implement, probably similar to you and me. I am around so many. Human nature is to not take action. Yeah. It is to stay where we're at. It's this homeostasis, just thing that is inherent about us, is that once we're somewhere, it's just stay there. Yeah. And so it takes real effort and energy to do anything. And I was one of these people. I was a strategic planner as an engineer. I'm trained to find ways that things will fail and fix every last one of them before we commit forward. That was the worst possible mindset as an entrepreneur. Yeah. So it's not like, oh my God, go to chapter 7 in the book, or if you're on the book launch, at 42 minutes in, this will be the thing to change your life. It's really going to be find the thing that you go, I think that's it for me. Actually fully finish and implement it. That will change it. And I know that sounds so basic, but from coaching people and mentoring folks, it's, we know some of the same people. I mean, and it's like, well, why does person A accomplish this and person B doesn't? It's like, well, because person A did it and person B sat there and planned and talked about it and said how hard it was going to be and dabbled and watched a video and then didn't, and then you don't. So it's, it's like you read the book, that's awesome. I mean, it's going to be like $10. I'm going to make like $3. Like, trust me, there's nothing that really happens from that. It's going to be, oh, you know what? These 3 pages, I think I could commit the next, 90 days to really knock that out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to change things for you. If you get to day 90 and go, I did all the steps required.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny that again, that 12-week program that I do so much of, I have a checklist in there and it just says, do these things. Right. And they track it and they say how many of the things that they did and didn't do. And then we follow up at the end of the week. And it's crazy how many people I'm like, okay, talk to 25 people. And they'll come back and be like, I spoke to 10. Like, well, how many clients did you get? Half as many as I wanted. Well, 10 is half of 20. So not surprisingly, you got half the results. You did half the work. And
Yes.
it's so eye-opening for people when, like, just how much stuff you do in the day that actually doesn't matter. And you work for 8 hours and then you get done with the day and you're like, yeah, but I didn't actually do anything. And so
Yes.
I love what you say there of like, okay, identify what needs to be done and then go do it, track it to see if, what actions you did, go do it and see what happens. And it's crazy how little action is actually required to produce basic, $500,000 a year results. Literally 4 hours a day working in the business, 4 hours a day on the business. But actually at the end of the day, you should be able to say like, I billed 4 hours today on cases that are actually going to pay me. Just that little bit of action produces so much results because so many people aren't doing it.
Yes, I mean it is. Yeah, there's all kinds of frameworks and things like the book, your program, things that we watch, social media. Like it's out there. It's not about how do I take all 9 million things. It's just take one that you're like, I think I don't do as good of a job on that. Or I don't do it at all. Then just take the one thing and actually implement and do it and fully do it. And you go, why does it work? Because you did the work required.
Yeah. I love that. So tell us a little bit about this book launch real quick. It's next week, but how do people get in on this? Because it's going to be quite the event and I want to make sure people don't miss it. So tell us a little bit about this launch.
So we go to registration page, so you can get the link and stuff for you. You just go on there, hit the button, first, last name, email, and then you're in. So I mean, super basic. That way, then you can get the Zoom link and all that. It's going to be Tuesday, November 11th, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Kicking off. It's gonna run about 4 hours. I'm going to be talking tactics and strategies in the book. So going through things actually in the book. But we're going to be addressing some other cool topics. So we're going to be diving into really what causes burnout in lawyers, specifically law firm owners.
Love it.
And the number one thing that I see across everybody who's not burning out, what they're doing, what they have in common, and how to structure for that. We're doing Vertex League. So Tuesdays are Vertex League days. So smack in the middle of this, we're going to let everybody be part of our Vertex League call. So like middle of the launch, we're just going to transition and like host a call. Yeah. Everybody's welcome to be on. So anybody who's ever been like, what is it? Come hang out with us. It's going to be cool. We're going to do Q&A with me, Tracy, the Vertex members, everybody. So just like when you're like, hey, how do we do this? Or what can I do better? There'll be a room of people helping. And come on, we'll do Q&A, like an Ask Me Anything for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously selling the book and making that available on Amazon. We're doing some giveaways. So there may be some special gifts that people can get if they get multiple copies. So if people want that, it's not going to be the Hormozy, you can buy hundreds, but normal little chunks of books. If you get a handful, there'll be some pretty cool things that will make people want to buy more than one.
Yeah.
We're doing a huge giveaway, free thing. I can't tell, but last time I did one of these things, people did pay me $4,000 for it. And so this will just be free to everybody that attends. And then not one, but 2 mega announcements. And people are going to, I'm not sure which one I'm more excited for. So literally to the last moment till we hit end Zoom call, it is going to be jam-packed of just fun reveals, help, guidance, implementation. We're going nuts.
Yeah. And what if they can't attend live? Is there any resources for people who can't attend live, or you got to show up?
You got to show up unless you get VIP. If you get VIP, it's only $20, and then I will give you the recording after the fact. So if somebody's like, "Oh, this sounds so good, but I got client meetings on Tuesday," one, it would be permissible to move them. But if you really can't for $20, then you'll get the Vertex League call, a workbook, top tier Q&A, but you'll get the recording of just the whole 4 hours, so then you can watch it, rewatch it, do whatever you need.
Cool. Awesome. All right. We're at the top of the hour. So tell us, you get the last piece of advice, the last say. What's the last thing you want people to think of with this call?
I really wish more people understood that I truly believe everybody is seriously highly talented and has amazing gifts. Um, and that if they just tapped into that more, the energy, fulfillment, and joy is isn't like more, it's exponential.
Yeah.
I was a person that hated my old career, and I used to live in a I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I change jobs, when I go to the other company, when I'm on the different project, when I get the raise, when we buy a house, when we have a kid, you name it. I'll
Right.
be happy when.
Yeah.
And tapping into what I really love doing now, which were things I didn't think it, if you asked me, it's 20 years old, did I think I would do Google ads and build offers and
Right.
mentor, all the things I do today? It was not a bit. So it's just really actually like kind of audit your life for what are those real talents, not the ones people told you have, like deep down that you can do it, and
Yeah.
find ways to lean into that and use it to help benefit other people. There's nothing more fun. And for real, then, to me, um, I'm not gonna say you're gonna be the next Elon or whatever, but like the money comes. Like when
Yeah.
you're having that much fun and can put that much real effort in, the money comes. Then you can then design the life to then buy back your time, do the things that matter. Like, and all of a sudden you kind of go, can it really be this easy
Yeah.
and this fun? And you go, yeah, but it ties into God made you to go do something. Figure out what the heck that is and actually lean all in on that. That's what I'd leave you with.
I love that. Yeah. I think it was Jim Collins said, do only the things that only you can do, but be you. That's where a lot of life and happiness comes from. So I love you ending on that. So thank you so much, Andrew. This was an awesome interview. So glad to have you. And I'm excited for your book launch next week. I've got a bunch of things in the morning too. I'm trying to move around so I can attend live.
We're gonna have fun, man.
But I'm so glad you joined us. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Same thing. We got to let this Facebook catch up and then we'll trim this off. So that was really fun conversation though.
Yeah,
so
man.
thank you for
Thank you. That was fun.
And there we go. The Facebook's done.